and even Phil DeYoung pointed it out in the chat room there.
Yes.
Never mind it being 2 years old weather news. We can deal with that.
Yes.
You know, we can deal with that because, you know, really pretty much it's probably the same as it is today. So, you know, whatever. But I mean, South Dakota, like, nobody's there except Indians and casinos. You know?
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
What, the Indians? Yeah. Okay, well.
He needs love, Chris. Come on.
Yeah, well, you know what? I gave him love this morning, buddy. Listen, check it out. Yeah. There you are. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hi, good morning, Frankie.
Okay, guys, I'm going to do a video about the guy eating 50 hot dogs at once.
Really? You going to do videos in HTLA here eating hot dog? Here, no. No, I got a much better idea for you. I got a hot dog right here. Here you go, Frankie, eat this. Here you go. Here you go. That's it, Frankie. See, you are talented. Yeah. Yeah, I see. I see now why they're keeping you around. Oh, yeah. That's right. You like it. That's right. Who's your daddy? You know, and nobody, I'm telling you out there right now, nobody can be offended at this because, of course, as we're clearly displaying, we're not only just employing token black people, but we are also doing our bit to support gay rights. There you go.
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Well, it used to be, Louis, but now it's a goddamn political statement. So, you know, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. Yes. You know, it's not my fault. I didn't bring this, but hey, you know, that's the way the world is now, so you can all suck it. Yeah. There you go. Well, moving on today, we can actually get to that wingtip story. That's right. Wing flip that was found on an island, of course, was traced to the Malaysian jet, which I personally confirmed on the show last week, but nobody listens to me. So, and that's enough to talk about my cocktail weenie, Sharon. Well, experts confirmed that the wing flap found on an island in the Indian Ocean belongs to the missing Malaysia Airlines Flight 370. Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak said today, 515 days since the plane disappeared, it is with a heavy heart that I must tell you an international team of experts have conclusively confirmed that the debris found on Reunion Island is indeed from Flight 370. Razak said at a news conference, now we have physical evidence that Flight 370 tragically ended in the southern Indian Ocean. And he pledged to cut up the 273 pieces equally of the wreckage found to send to the families of the deceased. Paris Deputy Prosecutor Serge Makasawak expressed slightly less certainty, citing a strong supposition that the flaperon confirmed earlier this week to be from a Boeing 777 was part of the missing jetliner. Analysis aimed at confirming the information would begin Thursday, he said at a news conference. Yeah, I always like to go and have the news conference on the Wednesday and then go confirm the findings scientifically on the Thursday. Yeah. Malaysia Airlines released a statement calling the information a major breakthrough into why the plane disappeared. Family members, really? How? What the hell? What, because it lost its wingtip? Really? Well, family members of passengers and crew have already been informed, and we extend our deepest sympathies to those affected, the statement said. Well, come on. It was almost 600 days ago. They're not still crying, are they? Now, Flight 370 vanished March 8th, 2014, after taking off from Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, bound for Beijing with 239 people on board. Most of the victims were Chinese. Well, that's pretty bad.
Yes.
But, I mean, if you add up the escalator deaths since then, that's like 10%. You know. Well, earlier today, investigators in France began examining the flaperon, which was found on the beach in the town of Saint-Andre a week ago. The part was taken to the DGATA aeronautical testing site near Toulouse in southern France. In addition to determining that the flaperon came from MH370, investigators from Malaysia, France, and the U.S. will examine the metal on the wing piece with microscopes and try to find out what caused the plane to go down. However, if the plane was hit by a missile or a UFO or alien starship anywhere else on the plane, they wouldn't know. Now, the French island of Reunion is about 3,500 miles southwest of Malaysia and more than 2,000 miles from the area of the Indian Ocean where Flight 370 is suspected to have crashed. Well, that's a small discrepancy. It was only 2,000 miles from where it should have been. That's fine. You know, just almost the entire span of the United States. Well, it's no wonder it took them 500 days to find it. Yeah. Well, Ranzak thanked the dozens of nations that have aided in the search for the plane and expressed sympathy for the families. Moments before he spoke, a text message alert was sent out to family members of the victims explaining the findings. The burden and uncertainty faced by the families during this time has been unspeakable, he said. It is my hope that the confirmation, however tragic and painful, will at least bring certainty to the families and loved ones of the 239 people on board the MH370, and they have our sympathy and prayers. Confirmation the plane crashed in the ocean could help many family members with the grieving process, says Nancy Smith, the Dean of University at Buffalo School of Social Work, who studies psychological traumas. Well, that's got to be a fun profession. Well, this does provide those families with the needed closure, Smith said. Knowing the plane did indeed crash, most families, that will help them come to terms with the loved ones and that they're really gone, and that they'll know that they weren't sucked up by aliens to be deposited on another planet 200 years from now. Still, many Chinese relatives have clung to hope that the jetliner would be found with all aboard safe and have protested that they see a lack of information from authorities investigating a plane's disappearance. What's wrong with these Chinese people? Didn't they see 4200? Well, there are still some still wondering if their loved ones are still sitting on the island, Smith said. Well, if they're still sitting on the island, it's about 12 feet down from the velocity. Well, there are still tons of questions which also affect the grieving process, such as why the plane crashed. It's a big piece for them. Why can't they just accept the conspiracy theorists' thing that it was sucked into a vortex by aliens? I don't, that's the thing. I mean, I'm sitting here, if any of my family were on board the thing, I'd be like, oh, geez. Oh, my God, I'll never know what happened to him. Some whack job conspiracy theorist comes along.
Yes.
He's like, oh, Crash, your wife and children have been sucked up by aliens, and they're on the planet Astronar. Yeah, hey, you know what? I'd feel better knowing they're alive somewhere on Astronar.
Yes.
Thinking that they're pounded 12 feet into the sand on some island in Borneo, that's not very cool to me, of course, but, having that vision in my mind that they're living out their lives happily on Astronar,
yes.
that would make me feel comforted. Yeah. Well, don't screw my fantasy, Well, moving on today, of course, we've got FBI probes. Yes, no, not those kind of probes.
Yes.
No, the FBI probes, of course, of the Clinton emails. The FBI has begun a review into the security of Hillary Clinton's private email system that she used during her time as Secretary of State. What is this now, 6 years later? Yeah? That's good. The FBI is, right in there, right when you need them.
Yes.
Right? Okay, 6 years later, the equipment was sold off long ago. All our servers and hard drives, they've all been liquidated, because they do that every 4 years. So, now 5-6 years later, fill your boots, FBI. Come and investigate.
Yes.
That's what this is. That's what this is right here. Yes, the FBI has begun finally a review into the security of Hillary Clinton's private email system that she used during her time as Secretary of State, a federal official confirmed today. The official, who is not authorized to comment to us publicly, said the review follows a referral last month to the Justice Department from the Inspector General overseeing the government's intelligence community, expressing concern about potential compromise of proprietary information. Now that the government lot sales have finalized, they've okayed the FBI to come in and look at the brand new servers. There we go. Now, the Washington Post also reported that the FBI also contacted Clinton's lawyer, David Kendall, last week with questions about the security of a thumb drive that he has with copies of emails from Clinton's tenure as Secretary of State. The government is seeking assurance about the storage of those materials. Kendall told the Post we're actively cooperating. 4 emails containing classified information were identified among 30,000 emails that Clinton handed over to the State Department for review. The Inspectors General for the State Department and the Office of Director of National Intelligence said in a joint statement last month. The Washington Post said a lawyer for Palette River Networks, the Denver tech company that helped manage Clinton's server and that was contacted by the FBI, declined to comment as they had gotten rid of the equipment 2 years ago. There you go, and that just that's that. Why spend the money and bother even talking about this?
Yes.
It's like Benghazi. It's already been covered up, done, washed hands, moving on. And there's no threat for Scooby-Doo in the White House anyway, so it really doesn't matter. But we do have some news about some of those GOP candidates, of course, disputing Obama on Iran. We're going to have that when we come back from our second commercial break. Back in 2.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop,
where fresh always tastes better.
What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful.
A broom closet.
But the worst part was the shower.
My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Let's do a brand new day. Let's step away from the bland and let the color fly. Let's get to the one store with more number one choices and match this or this without using too much of this. Then, let's crack open a can and get to it. Paint? No. Let's do POW. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Glidden Duo starts at a new lower price of $25.46 a gallon.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page,
Yeah.
on Twitter, and on Instagram.
That's right, and if you need any help with that, it's pretty simple. You just go to Twitter or Instagram or Facebook or any of those places and just type in a search HTLA Radio 1. You'll find it.
That's the famous story about Jerry Lee Lewis. You heard that story, haven't you? Sitting behind his desk at Paramount, talking with big executives and TV people, and all of a sudden the chick pops up underneath, wipes off her mouth, and walks out the door, and Jerry doesn't have an eye.
Some guys get all the luck.
Yes.
But that's okay, now I've got my little mouse whenever I need it. It's not so bad, actually, having Frankie McDonald around anymore. And in case you missed it, well, too bad. Rewind.
The music is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got to hear it.
I don't have to hear it, Louie. It's playing right now, and... Yeah.
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
It's not even if you blew me. No.
I go a half an hour. Do I get $50,000?
No. What the hell do you need all that money for?
Yes.
I need to try and raise $25,000 to enter the Academy Awards, and I think it's a fantastic risk because we have a tremendous chance. There's about 200 members that vote on it, and they all you have to give them a DVD now.
Oh, I'm glad you think it's a terrific risk. Until you can convince others it's a terrific risk, you're pretty much boned. Well, welcome back to the big show today. Your coffee and cigarettes, a Wednesday grinder on HTLA Radio 1, New York's Best Talk. That's right, NewYork'sBestTalk.com. Get there, eat it up, lick it. And, so moving on today, we got still a lot to cover in the stories, don't you worry. And, if I quit screwing around with sound bites, we can actually get to them. So, Of course, the next one up for bids here is the GOP candidates disputing Obama on Iran. Like, ooh, geez, there's a shocker. I never saw that coming. And yes, that was John Kerry. Well, President Obama today attacked the Republicans over the Iran nuclear agreement, yes, and of course, vice versa. Obama used a high-profile speech to argue, in part, that Republican opposition risks a nuclear-armed Iraq and a new military action in the Middle East. GOP presidential candidates said the agreement itself will strengthen Iran, paving its way to nuclear weapons. President Obama could give 100 speeches attempting to justify his appeasement of the rogue Iranian regime, and it wouldn't change a thing, says Wisconsin Governor Luke Scott Walker. Walker said the deal jeopardizes American safety and that of our allies, especially Israel, and that as president he would terminate this disastrous agreement on day one. The former Florida Governor Jeb Bush weighed in on Twitter. Well, no, we all know Jeb takes 9 years to make an informed decision. So whatever I'm about to tell you that he said today,
yes,
yeah, just ignore it. He weighed in on Twitter saying, quote, "The Iran deal paves the way to Iran getting the bomb and gives $150 billion to the mullahs. That's not leadership." And to which I responded on Twitter, actually.
Yes.
I said, what the hell's a mullah? Well, in his speech at American University today, Obama likened opponents of the Iran agreement to those who favored the problematic war in Iraq in the first place. They, too, denounced their opponents as appeasers, Obama said. Well, no, Mr. Obama, if you look back in history, the guys who favored the war in Iraq, those are the guys that own the companies like General Dynamics and Halliburton. The Monsanto Cheney. Well, now more than we ever need clear thinking in our foreign policy, Obama said. Yes, we do. So when are you bringing it? Well, the speech promoting the Iran agreement came a day before the Republicans gathered for the first presidential debate of the year. Obama and allies say the agreement shuts down the technical pathway that Iran could take towards developing a nuclear weapon. The only alternative, they say, is military action against Iran. And nobody wants that, do they? Yes, well, Republicans say that the deal leaves a wiggle room for Iran to cheat and cheat often. They also protest the reduction of sanctions, saying that it will allow the Iranian government to provide financing now for terrorist activities across the region, and don't think they won't do it. Anybody remember Ayatollah Khomeini? Well, POTUS. Yes, this is the tweet from Lindsey Graham.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, POTUS, hashtag Iran deal, empowers Iran with pathway to bomb, missiles to deliver it, money to pay for it, and means to a military arsenal, says Lindsey Graham. That's all she said. Yeah. Just that's cool. I love those candidates that go out on the limb and don't say the same thing everybody else is saying. You know? Those risk takers. Yes. Those oh wait, there's none except for Trump.
Yes.
And of course, no comment from him on this because he's not that dumb. Well, moving on today, let's talk about let's talk about the country with the highest population of idiots in the world. And no, I'm not talking about the United States. No, not by a long shot. Chengdu, China. Well, China clamps down on logging within its borders. Illegal Chinese loggers are now falling, the world's forests with absolute abandon for the sake of teak floors and fancy chairs. In late July, 153 Chinese nationals were sentenced to life in prison for illegal logging of Myanmar's northmost Kachin state, a region rife with coveted teak, paddock, beechwood, ebony, and rosewood species. Last week, the Burmese authorities granted their release in a gesture of goodwill towards China, which is Myanmar's largest trading partner. But the gesture, while benevolent towards the loggers, will do nothing to stop the ongoing ravishment of the region by Chinese companies who have been plundering Myanmar for over a decade, mostly illegally. Thousands of precious teak trees protected by Myanmar's forest law, as well as other species protected by timber export bans passed in 2014, are shipped every year to eastern China to be transformed into teak floors and luxury buildings, or hongmu, redwood chairs, tables, and chests, once limited to Chinese elites. Hongmu is now lusted after by Chinese nouveau riche. Yes, the individual pieces fetching $1 million or more. Gilbert, get your coat. We're going into the furniture business. Well, Myanmar isn't China's only victim either. Indonesia, which also has the world's highest carbon emissions rate, owing to deforestation, placed a moratorium on logging 4 years ago. Since then, forests have continued to be chopped, and in 2013, half of the world's illegal timber came from Indonesia and ended up in China. Meanwhile, Cambodia suffers the world's third highest deforestation rate at 85% of its timber exports go to, you guessed it, China. The Democratic Republic of Congo, the world's sixth most forested country by area, created a logging permit system to combat deforestation, but industrial-scale logging continues. 90% of its logging is illegal, and last year, 65% of its entire timber exports went to, again, yes, China. China also became Brazil's leading market for wood in 2012. It consumes 80 to 90% of Papua New Guinea's timber, over 90% of Mozambique's, and in Equatorial Guinea, its log purchases have consistently exceeded the legal limit. What's fueling this ravenous appetite for timber? Well, it's simply the Chinese demand for wood. It's increased 300% from 2000 to 2011, in part due to the growth in China's construction industry, and a 474% increase per capita GDP, allowing more Chinese hotels, deluxe apartments, and upper-class consumers to quench their thirst for rare furniture products. Moreover, while nations like the United States and Australia have passed laws banning the import of illegal wood, China refuses to do so, believing the cost would be too high. At the same time, China has passed bans on commercial logging within its borders. Heilongjiang province in 2014 and Inner Mongolia and Jilin last April, in fact. Beijing wants to cut commercial logging of state forests by 20% before 2020. This discrepancy has brought charges of hypocrisy from observers. Faith Doherty, a team leader with the British NGO Environmental Investigation Agency, has described China's behavior as effectively exporting deforestation around the world. What, if anything, is the answer to this problem? Well, Alliston, wow, her last name is Hoare. Yeah. It is. Alison Hoare, a senior environmental researcher at the British think tank Chatham House, wrote last month that Beijing should take a leadership role by raising the issue at ASEAN and the G20 summits. But China isn't likely to begin awareness-raising campaigns. As Bob Flynn says, from the International Forest Director, of course, of the timber consultancy RISI, he says in a recent book about China's environmental impact, Chinese really don't care where their wood comes from as long as it's cheap. If you're talking about illegal logs from Indonesia or cutting down the last tree in the Solomon Islands, they have no issues with that whatsoever. Or, as one Shanghai flooring company representative said, quote, "We don't log or smuggle any teak out of Burma. As for how the suppliers get teak, I don't really care." So what will it take for the Chinese to care about forests of Mozambique? Hoare of Chatham House believes that the economic preservation or self-preservation may be the answer. I don't think that the approach taken by China is a question of protecting its backyard, not at least because the approach is failing to protect its domestic processing industry. She told Global Post to keep its huge timber processing industry alive, she said, and to develop its exports to prosperous nations and ban illegal imports. China needs to be able to ensure that materials which are being imported to supply the industry are legal. China has been exploring ways to tackle the trade in illegal timber, she added, citing work to create a verification system for legal wood. However, it's only just the beginning to be implemented by industry, and it remains a voluntary measure. So no changes anytime soon for the China wood crisis, and, well, you know what that means for us back home here, of course.
Yes.
They keep doing that, we're going to have no wood. Because, of course, you know, they'll take it all.
Yes.
Right. Well, moving on today, now we're getting to, well, to me, this next story is nothing but corporate propaganda fluff. Yeah. That's because Google plays a huge part in it. You know. And many of you, most of the listeners of this show, of course, yes, they know about my war with Google last week.
Yes.
And, of course, the end of that, what did I say?
In addition to that,
yeah,
you keep that $10 or whatever it is for these 2 email accounts for this month.
Yeah.
You go ahead and keep that. Don't think you're ever fucking charging us a penny more ever again, and we'll get our business for emails elsewhere.
Uh-huh.
Thank you very, very fucking much for absolutely nothing.
Yeah, so we all remember that. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, do you know that
yes,
they had the balls, and I'm not even kidding, yesterday, they actually charged us again. Oh, yeah, so now the charge is for another month of suspension.
Yes.
Isn't that nice? They've charged us again, so I just had enough. I'm not going to deal with it anymore. I just called the lawyer. F him. Yeah. Charged us again. I can't believe it.
That was a mistake on my part.
I can actually see you phoning them up and saying, yeah, charge him again. He's okay with it. Yeah. Well, yes, the 5 great U.S. companies for working parents.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Netflix unveiled its latest perk for employees this week with an update to its parental leave policy. The streaming giant now offers unlimited time off to new parents for up to a year after the birth or adoption of a child. However, Netflix is not the first major company to offer these progressive packages for parental leave. That's right. With firms seeking ways to retain talent and balance employee needs with corporate ones, better parental leave policies have become a way to incentivize workers to stay put, says Shinaz Firfure, the assistant professor at the Warwick Business School. Companies have to develop policies, of course, that focus on evolving needs of their workforce, she added. That's why we've put Frankie in a padded room. Now he'll just come out for the weather reports and blowjobs. Well, research suggests that individuals experience strain as a consequence of juggling several roles, demands at the time, and consequently one or more of these spheres, for example, work or family, will suffer, Furfray said. Here's a list of 5 U.S. companies offering great parental leave benefits to its employees. Number 1 is right down here in Times Square, of course, the one, the only Ernst & Young. Yeah. Company offers up to 14 weeks of paid maternity leave and 6 weeks of paid maternity leave. Birth mothers can choose to take up to 8 of their 14 weeks of paid leave prior to the birth of their child if they so desire. Microsoft is another company that's always leading the way in just about everything they do. The software corporation recently updated its parental care policies. The firm behind Windows and the Xbox now offers up to 12 weeks of paid maternity and paternity leave. Microsoft also allows birth mothers to use short-term disability leave up to 2 weeks prior to their scheduled due date. Google, yes, the tech giant offers up to 18 weeks of paid maternity leave and offers 12 weeks of paid baby bonding time to all primary Mexican caregivers. Regardless, of course, of gender or citizenship.
Yes.
Yes. The company also offers up to 7 weeks of paid leave to caregivers other than parents who play key roles in raising a baby. And I don't know why Google's getting a big hats off here. I mean, surely I'm not the only suspended one they're charging. If they keep charging customers who they suspend, well, they're going to have all kinds of money to do this shit. Number 4 is the Bank of America. Yes, the once broke Bank of America. Well, the popular banking firm provides up to 12 weeks of paid maternity, paternity, and adoptive parent leave. Bank of America also provides up to 14 weeks additional unpaid leave. Our policy has always been one that is focused on both men and women, says Ferris Morrison, a spokesperson for Bank of America. We love homosexuals. We also provide adoption support for homosexuals. Further citing that we always try to meet the diverse needs of our sick fuck employees. And number 5 today is State Street. The professional assistance firm offers up to 12 weeks paid leave to mothers and up to 4 weeks paid leave for fathers. Additionally, the company offers 8 weeks of paid leave for adoptive parents and grants up to $5,000 per homosexual to help offset adoption costs. Yes. Quote, we're competitive in this space in order to engage employees and retain them, says Mike Skinnell, Senior Vice President of Global Human Resources for State Street. We have a pretty strong, flexible work program for gays. There we go. Fucking gays.
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
Yes. We know. We know. You've told us a number of times.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawler.
Yes, you'll get your money. Yes. Well, moving along today, we got some more little bits and pieces about the Cecil the Lion case, of course. And no, not bits and pieces of Cecil. No. Yes, Cecil case, frivolous and wrong. A professional hunter accused of failing to stop a Minnesota dentist from killing Cecil the lion branded the case against him frivolous and wrong today. Arriving at a court in Hwange, Zimbabwe, Theo Bronkhorst told reporters he believed he had the right permits and did not break the law. Bronkhorst faced his charges of failing to prevent an unlawful hunt. He faces up to 15 years in jail if convicted. Hunting is an integral part of our country, and it's got to continue, he says. And we do not use wildlife sustainability. There will be no wildlife. He's good. Well, his trial was postponed, of course, to September 28th. Another guide was released without charges last week, but Bronkhorst acted as a guide for, of course, dentist Walter Palmer in the July 1st killing of Cecil, a much-loved lion in the Hwange National Park. Palmer said that he believed the hunt was legal. Leaving the courthouse today, Bronkhorst said, "I feel sorry for my client. He's a good man. He did nothing wrong," according to the Agence French press. Yes. Outside the courthouse, Givemore Meringi, Brockhurst's lawyer, said, "My client is not guilty. The hunt was legal, and this is the petition we are going to defend when the trial opens," the Associated Press reported today. Cecil's death caused international outcry after Palmer, 55, who paid about $50,000 to track and kill the 13-year-old big cat, Cecil, who was part of an Oxford University study, was allegedly lured out of the national park with bait before being shot with a crossbow, subsequently tracked for 40 hours, and then shot dead. Zimbabwe's environment minister has called for Palmer to be extradited. Also today, police in southwest Florida said vandals spray-painted the words, quote, "Lion Killer," on the garage door of Palmer's $1.1 million vacation home. And apparently left at least 7 pickled pig's feet on the driveway. Well, the Florida police have opened an investigation, and a security company has been hired to protect the property, the news agency said. American, Delta, and United Airlines have announced they are refusing to transport certain animal trophies. Zimbabwe officials on Saturday announced a ban on the hunting of lions, leopards, and elephant in areas of Hwange. So there you go. That's the latest on the Cecil saga. Yeah, the Cecil saga. The saga of Cecil. Let's get. No, you know this is going to be a kid's book.
Yes.
Yeah. You gotta love the kids.
How many different families do you have?
So many, I don't even know how many kids I have. I don't know.
Which woman are you married to or living with now?
Well, it was going to be Stacey Stacks, but now I've understood that she's been kicked and banned, so I don't know. I'm currently shopping.
Yes.
Shopping for a new one, but Frankie will certainly do until. Well, moving on today, we got kind of a follow-up story to the New York Killers. Yes, those escapees that had New York State on the edge of its seat for like over a month and a half when I said they were in Texas. And, of course, New York prison escapee Richard Matt, who was, of course, the last one that they, kill-captured.
Yes.
Well, the big news out today, apparently, is that they've discovered that he was drunk when he was killed. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. I don't even know how this qualifies as news,
yes.
But, you know, if you're in prison for, 5 months even, you know, when you get out, the first thing you're doing is going to find some booze, so what's the big shocker? I don't get it, but the prison escapee, Richard Matt's blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit to drive a vehicle when he was shot and killed by police, New York State Police said today. Toxicology results showed that Matt had a blood alcohol content of 0.18 at the time of his death, June 26, police said. Well, that's nice. At least he slipped away feeling nothing. That's right. His fellow escapee, of course, David Sweat, was captured 2 days later and is being housed in a maximum security facility at the Finger Lakes. They don't use fingers in prison. Come on. Police said that Matt was carrying a shotgun and failed to comply with police orders to drop his weapon when he was discovered in the Adirondacks after the pair escaped from the Clinton Correctional Facility in Denmora back on June 6th. They are believed to have gotten the alcohol after breaking into hunting cabins in the mountains. Police says a U.S. Customs Border Protection Tactical Unit member discharged several rounds from a semi-automatic weapon, striking Matt in the head 3 times, the police said. Yeah, he didn't feel nothing. Well, the cause of death was severe skull fractures and brain injuries due to gunshot wounds to the head. Damn, they're good. Well, Matt, who also had bug bites on his lower extremities, blisters, and minor abrasions consistent with living in the woods for 3 weeks. Yes. Okay. Wow, Kissy, we got to start talking about the news stories here. That's it? Okay, well, fine. She says that's it.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I claim no responsibility for the stories here.
Everything that could go wrong goes wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it does. And you know, again, it's not... my job is to deliver it, not to make it.
Same thing.
No, making news and delivering news is quite different, you retard. No. But I digress. Let's talk about Seinfeld.
Hey, can I see a dick?
There you go. Actually, I don't think you want to see it. It's got Frankie teeth marks all over it. Yeah. Oh, I love doing this.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Well, I bet, yeah, you probably had a Frankie in your younger days. Yeah. Well, in our final story today on the old Wednesday Grinder here, and I guess before I get into this, I should really kind of say, you know, I've hoped we've entertained you all today, yes, and helped you get through your Wednesday a little easier than you normally would have without hearing Frankie blow me. You know, so there we go. Now that I've stated that, I can move on with the final story of the day. Yes, I can. There we go. Well, NASA is apparently to keep paying Russia to send astronauts to the space station. I didn't know NASA was paying the Russians to send anybody into space. Why are we going to pay them? We had our own shuttles and stuff.
Yes.
We did, and we had a space program to be very proud of.
Yes.
And then we shut it down with all these budget cuts. Now we're paying Putin's cronies? What? Well, apparently so. In Washington today, NASA is extending its contract with Russia's space agency to transport U.S. astronauts to the International Space Station for the foreseeable future. Now that it appears very unlikely, Congress will provide the funding it's requesting to develop a domestic replacement for the mothballed Space Shuttle system, NASA's Administrator Charles F. Bolden said today. In a letter to members of Congress who oversee NASA funding, Bolden said that the $490 million contract, quote, modification, is due mainly to Congress not providing the agency adequate resources for its commercial crew programs. It costs taxpayers about $75 million for every ride on a Soyuz rocket to the space station. Under the new contract, that will rise to nearly $82 million in 2018, according to NASA. Over the past 5 years, Congress had cut approximately $1 billion from President Barack Obama's request for a commercial crew. Over that time, NASA's target for an initial launch has moved from 2015 now to 2017. Congress, while incrementally increasing annual funding, has not adequately funded the commercial crew program to return human space flight launches to American soil this year as planned. Another failed campaign lie. Well, Bolden wrote in a letter to lawmakers, this has resulted in continued sole reliance on the Russian Soyuz spacecraft as our crew transport vehicle for American and international partner crews to the International Space Station. And why are we paying $82 million now?
Yes.
For Soyuz technology? That was from 1960. Really? The Soyuz was 1960 when it actually went into active duty as an actual spacefaring vehicle for the Russians. No, it's a true story. 1960. That's when they really kicked off that Soyuz and went Nunvikatsa. So let me get this straight. We're paying $82 million a head now to send up American astronauts when we were paying $70 million a head up until now. Why is the price going up on shit that's 55, 60 years old? What? Well, now Bolden says 2017 appears to be the best and long shot, given that lawmakers are expected to provide no more than $1 billion for the program in 2016's fiscal year that begins October 1st, about $250 million less than Obama is seeking. The Commercial Crew program is funding ventures by two private companies, Boeing and SpaceX, to develop a fleet of domestic rockets to resume flying astronauts to the space station. The last space shuttle flight to be orbiting the lab was July 2011. Some key lawmakers have raised concerns about the program, which uses a different contracting program than NASA used for the shuttle. Under Commercial Crew, NASA pays companies to achieve certain milestones, but leaves details largely to the contractor because it costs less. But the firms get to keep the intellectual property rights of everything they find and all of their products subsequently there too. And there's a risk that the problem could go undetected until later in the development process as well. Advocates of the arrangement say it means companies can more nimbly and cheaply meet contract targets, but skeptics say there's little oversight and the government has little control over any costs. Bolden wrote in the letter that he hopes funding an agreement can be reached that ends this reliance on Russian rockets. I am asking that we put the disagreements behind us and focus our collective efforts on support for American industry. The Boeing Corporation and SpaceX to complete construction and certification of their new crew vehicles so that we can begin launching our own astronauts from the Space Coast off Florida in 2017, he wrote. Under the contract modification, NASA is buying 6 Soyuz seats and associated services for calendar year 2018, with rescue and return services extending through late spring 2019, according to an agency spokeswoman. Should the U.S. commercial providers be ready by 2018, the Soyuz launch dates could be adjusted such that the landing could occur later, she said. Wow, we've got to buy back our own space program. That's... really? Yeah. Yeah, way to go, former presidents. Yeah, who let that one happen? Yes. Well, gang, that is all the time we got for today, of course, on your Coffee and Cigarettes Wednesday Grinder, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. I want to thank you for tuning in and listening today. Stacy, sorry about the chat room. Call me, you know. Louis Lawless, thank you, my friend, for being here every single time. You do a great job. Love having you. Thank you.
Wait a minute, I got lost. H-T-L-A. Oh, H-T-L-A. Hell is that?
Oh, that's your phone. It's okay. Don't worry.
It's about fucking time. Move on. Move on.
All right. Well, thank you. Also, Gilbert, thank you for being here, my friend.
Thank you for listening and support the show
for the love of God. Yeah. There you go. Throw those social media links before you go.
Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page.
There you go.
On Twitter and on Instagram.
Thank you very much. And to the rest of you out there, go out and have yourselves a great Wednesday Eve, and we will catch you here tomorrow for the Thursday Showdown. That's right, the Thursday Double Coffee and Cigarettes, 5 p.m. Eastern. As always, be here or be queer. And we will catch you on the flip side.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Well, there she is. Yes, the one, the only Kissy Springer bringing it there. That's right. She's bringing it. Well, hey, gang, what's going on? What's going on? What time is it? Hey, it's 5 p.m. Eastern. That's right. It's time for your coffee and cigarettes. HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk. Proud to present the coffee and cigarettes today, your Thursday double-double. Yes, for this Thursday, the 6th, count it, the 6th of August, 2015. That's right. 83 degrees right now downtown Central Park. Yes, it is. Mostly sunny. Few clouds kicking around. Nothing really to worry about. Did I sound worried? No, I didn't. Well, hey, we got a heck of a good show for you today. Yes, we do. So many stories, so many, I don't know, rude comments, lots more of Frankie McDonald giving Crash Daddy-O head here. We got it all going on today. So, hey, we'll tell you about today also how Jon Stewart jolted late night. Yes, and we'll tell you about that. And then we'll tell you about Obama news. Yes, we got it today. Obama's calling for the restoration of the Voting Rights Act. Wonder what that means. Also today, bring out your dead. Yes, believe it or not, as a Colorado resident dies of the bubonic plague. Yes, the Black Death is rearing its ugly head right at the same time as Trump fans are showing the worst Facebook grammar, apparently. But hey, have no fear. Fiorina fans are shining. In other stories we're going on with today, of course, include Get the Filter Out campaign. Yes, aiming to clean up littered cigarettes. Well, we got a few things to say about that, don't we? Also, some helpful tips, like how you survive living with someone who is the polar opposite of you. And I think, my little demonstration of what I did to Frankie McDonald yesterday is a fine example of just coming together, working out your differences, and bringing people together in a whole new way, of course. That's right. Yes. I'm going to show you how. All that and so much more today. So, hey, come on in, grab a cup, have a seat, light one up. It's the coffee time. Welcome back, and yes, that is, of course, HTLA Coffee and Cigarettes theme, Kennedy's song. That's right. Yes. For our very own Kennedy. Yes. We've got one. Yeah, we keep her around in the closet here. Yes, we do. Well, hey, got to do some shout-outs today, and welcomes, of course, to the show. HTLA's first lady, of course, the one, the only Devlon Crawford in the house today in the live chat room. Phil DeYoung, Sharon Chesley, I believe, is kicking around there. Of course, we got a listener. Yes, and a lot of listeners. There we go. The one, the only Apocalypse. Yes, the man himself. Also, Mikey B is in the house today for us. And, I don't know, who else? Let's just say there's an entire mob. Yes, we'll call it a mob. We'll stick with that. Also want to do some shout-outs today to Mr. Tom Grote in Langford, British Columbia, Canada. Thanks for tuning in today, Tom. Love to see you. Also, the one, the only Phyllis Griffiths, good old mom herself, Monica Randall Wagner, Adam Moore. Who else have we got here? Helen Doyle and Dieter Wenzel. Also, we know, yes, we do, the one, the only Alan Soriano is kicking around here somewhere, isn't he? Oh, yes. Well, hey, moving on today, we got lots to cover today, and of course, first of all, I got to say that pushing the buttons in the booth for us today is, yes, the one, the only, now completely trained Kissy Springer. pushing the buttons, of course, on that PreSonus 2442 digital broadcast mixer we use here. And let me tell you, gang, if you're into any kind of audio, recording, digital or analog, doesn't matter, well, get yourselves on over to PreSonus.com and check out their gear. It's awesome. They've got nothing but, well, hell, I can't get over the pretty lights. That's what really does it for me, so... Yeah, PreSonus.com. Also, this show is brought to you by the fine folks at Tim Hortons, New York City. Now with those 8 fine locations in the city to serve all of your coffee and baked goods needs. That's right, you won't find any dirty little video cameras in their bathroom either. Tim Hortons, always fresh. That's right. Well, moving on today, I don't do this show by myself. No, we do have guests / co-hosts. And we've had these two for quite some time now because they just seem to work with everything. You know, we've had Morgan Freeman and Kirstie Alley and Tom Cruise and, God, the list goes on and on and on. But these two just keep coming back for more. You can't get rid of them even if you tried. Well, I know the one's there, but he's not the one I'm introducing first today. No, of course, first coming to us live from beautiful Millbay Film and Television Studios in downtown Millbay, British Columbia, Canada is, of course, the one, the only, 35-time nominated director, Louis Lawless. Never won. Louis, are you there?
We were 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
Right.
And we did.
No, but that's okay because, you're here and, if you had won, you'd be unattainable. You'd be a superstar in the film business and we'd never get you on the show.
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
Yes, it did. And The Diary and the list goes on and on and on.
And I finally figured out how to edit.
See? Now, every single day is a new opportunity, I should say, to learn. It's well done.
That was a mistake on my part.
Oh, okay. You don't want to learn? Okay.
Oh, can we cuss? Can I cuss as I always do on the show?
You fill your boots. We've got you covered today.
It's about fucking time. Move on. Move on.
See how we did that? Yeah.
Yes.
Also, that little, ratchety cackle, I guess. I mean, yes, that can only come from one bird, a Disney bird. Yes. The one, the only Gilbert Gottfried joining us live from his apartment about 8 blocks down the street from HTLA Studio 2 here in Manhattan. And, of course, Gilbert,
yes,
it's great to have you today. But the big question on everybody's mind, are you freaking ready?
What the fuck?
Well, yeah. It's a question.
I'm ready.
Okay, so he says, all right, give us your intro.
And this is,
No, see? No. All right, how about some Seinfeld?
Hey, can I see your dick?
There you go. Okay. I won't get you to do an intro anymore. I'll just get you to do the Seinfeld.
Yes.
Yeah. Seinfeld for 4? Well, it's good to have you both here today, and thank you for settling into the show as you always do. And
it's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
Yeah, well, it's good because we got a lot of them to cover today.
Yeah.
And we got a whole mess of people. We got the list literally goes on and on. I don't. You know, if I actually sat here and listed off everything that we've got to do today,
yes,
well, the show would be like 6 hours long. You know, it just would. But we don't have 6 hours, so let's just go with the 2. Yeah. Well, first up on the old news parade today, we're going to tell you about how Jon Stewart jolted late night. Yes, that's apparently the big news today. I don't know why or how, especially with this impending Iranian terrorist nuclear deal. But apparently, this is topping the news charts today.
Yes.
No one knows what Jon Stewart's next move will be, but when he crumples his last script, tosses off his final riposte, and leaves The Daily Show, well, he sat behind since January of 1999, it won't be to join the ranks of the politicians he eviscerated. Quote, I understand the armchair quarterbacks, and when are you going to be the head coach? I'm not as good as that. I'm really better at talking. Expletive. says Stewart back in November.
Yeah.
Yes, well, his impact, which Stewart is the first to downplay, has been immense. And since taking over for Craig Kilborn, Stewart's successor, Trevor Noah, yes, this absolutely unknown black guy. Of course, that'd be like them replacing me
yes.
with Brock Favors. He's, you know. Well, anyway, Trevor Noah takes over on September 28th. Stewart has taken politicians to task, explained the arcane workings of Congress, vented against animal abuser Michael Vick, and shunned humor when moments of bloodshed, such as the church massacre in South Carolina, stunned the nation. He created something that did not exist, says late-night rival Jimmy Kimmel. Yes, he made the show from a funny show to an important show. No one expected that to happen. Instead of a parody of the news, it became a critique of the news. Well, here's how Jon Stewart's former struggling stand-up comedian with a short-lived 1993 MTV show under his belt changed the face and tone of late night. He was a late-night mentor. Stewart didn't shine away from sharing the spotlight. Saturday Night Live, which launched the careers of many stars, including Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig, and Adam Sandler. Stewart's set was a training camp of sorts for the big leagues. It gave us a Steve Carell, Olivia Munn, and John Oliver, among many others. He proved a boot camp for talent, says former senior black correspondent Larry Wilmore, now hosting Comedy Central's companion nightly show. His legacy with other performers is huge. He turned pundits and politicos into stars. Other late-night talk shows covet A-listers to promote their various projects. Stewart, on the other hand, welcomed both established Hollywood stars like director J.J. Abrams, Stewart's wide-eyed, unabashed fan of Star Wars, and journalists and authors like Fareed Zakaria and Doris Kearns Goodwin. In November 2013, Goodwin was talking about her book, The Bully Pulpit. Much to the wonderment of Stewart, Taft, and Roosevelt were thick as thieves, and the whole relationship falls apart when they fight each other for the presidency. He marveled, says fellow late-night host Kimmel. He built up such a trust with his audience they were willing to tolerate a guest that at face value seemed boring. Oh, big deal. I can do, like, wonders with, like, Frankie McDonald. Well, he kept Gen Y interested and engaged. Yes, that would be short for Generation Y.
Yes.
Stewart somehow had made politics palatable and interesting with bits like Mesopotamia and Indecision 2000. He changed the way people got their news, that's for sure, Wilmore says. Before John, no one thought of getting their news from a comedy show. He changed the way we view our... Really? Well, I'm not going to say anything.
Yes.
Well, he changed the way we view our politicians, and we told them that, or we hold them now to a higher standard than we did before. No, we don't. No. No. You see, wow, really? When TMZ is getting to be mainstream?
Yes.
No. No, I'm not gonna call that as a higher standard.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna do that. And well, it goes on here for a series of more paragraphs about just how stellar he is. and of course, I'm kind of looking sideways at Kissy because
yes.
You know why is this? Never mind the number one story, but why is it here at all?
Yes.
Why is it here at all? I don't care about Jon Stewart. Do you, Gilbert? Right, I didn't think so. Louis?
That was a mistake on my part.
Oh, so you asked for this. Okay. Okay, well, that's fine. Well, that's fine. There you go. So Jon Stewart's done now, and nobody knows what he's going to do next. That's it. There you go. Hey, CLA listeners, that's all you need to know. You have been informed. There you go. Well, let's move along to something a little more ominous. Something a little more scary, secretive. Obama.
Yes.
Yes. That sigh was brought to you by Tim Hortons, New York City. Yes. Well, Obama today. Yes, the president man himself there in Washington. President Obama marked the 50th anniversary of the Voting Rights Act today by calling on Congress to update the law and urging people to register to vote in Canada and Uganda. Well, there are people of goodwill on both sides of the aisle who are willing to do it, but it keeps slipping as a priority, Obama said. This has to be a priority. If this isn't working, nothing's working. Well, there you go. So at least he finally admits it.
Yes.
You know. Because clearly it's not working if he's calling for a revamp of it. And, well, there you go. He's admitted his presidency isn't working. Yeah. Well, the Supreme Court struck down a key provision of the Act 2 years ago, ruling that jurisdictions with a history of discrimination are no longer required to have voting changes pre-approved by the Justice Department. But Obama also pointed to battles at the state and local level where voting rights groups are challenging voter identification laws. Just Wednesday, a federal appeals court held that a Texas law is discriminatory and violates the act. And if we look back in history,
yes,
that's the actual thing that Obama used to even be able to be the Democratic nominee.
Yes.
He, of course, petitioned the Supreme Court and had it ruled that you could be an African Muslim terrorist and run for president. Well, there are almost no instances of people going to vote in someone else's name. It turns out it's not just a common crime, Obama says. He also urged states to restore early voting days that have been rolled back over the years. Obama discussed the landmark voting law at a national teleconference in the afternoon with Attorney General Loretta Lynch and Rep. John Lewis, a Democrat of Georgia, and voting rights advocates. In a civil rights speech in Selma, Alabama in March, Obama called the Voting Rights Act one of the crowning achievements of our democracy, but also said the law stands weakened, its future subject to political rancor. Why is he bringing up a Star Wars monster? Why? Well, what the hell's a rancor? Well,
yes.
It's that thing that almost ate Luke Scott Walker. Yeah. What was that? I think it was Empire Strikes Back?
Yes.
Yeah. Well.
No, I don't, because I asked him, I said, well, fly out here and I'll film you.
Oh, you're going to film the president, are you?
Yeah.
Huh? Did he actually say yes?
I think it should be short and sweet.
Oh, that's what he told you? Yeah? Well, I don't know, Gilbert. I have to ask these questions.
Yes.
What is it you're actually trying to say, Louis?
Which woman are you married to or living with now?
That's your point? No, I'm okay with answering that.
Yes.
But I'd just like to know if that's what he's actually asking, or what. Screw it. I'm just going to go for a commercial. Yeah. And we are going to go for that commercial. Yes, a few minutes early, but that's okay because, of course, in addition to the HTLA Coffee and Cigarettes Traffic on the One, of course, coming up right after the commercial break.
Yes.
Well, we've also got, of course, our weather with Frankie McDonald, and I'm just going to throw in that fun little thing I did to him yesterday morning just for fun. Yes. Well, it'll kind of help us get through the weather.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm all about helping everybody get through the weather. We'll be back in 2.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
What if there was a coffee that was sourced from some of the world's most renowned growing regions, abundant with rich, fertile soil? What if this coffee was picked at the perfect moment, then packed meticulously and shipped carefully to be roasted under the watchful eye of coffee masters? What if it was expertly blended, ground, and sealed ensuring maximum flavor and freshness. Then brewed in small batches and always served fresh within 20 minutes, just the way you like it. Now, what if this coffee just happened to be the coffee you already know and love? Tim Hortons. Always fresh. Always great tasting coffee.
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Old Spice Body Spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power!
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Oh, yes. Both the Nazis on Hogan's Heroes were Jews.
Yeah, I know. You've mentioned that a number of times, probably just today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay.
Hey, you Jews, hey.
You can never, absolutely ever, never get enough of Cary Grant being a Jewish cantor.
Yes.
You just can't. I mean, dollar for dollar, pound for pound, you will not. Cary Grant, what a guy, eh?
We're proud to say he's a fan of this very podcast.
No, he's gay and dead. Yeah.
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawless.
Yeah, Louis, about that payment check thing. There's some folks in the live chat room, of course, that are talking today, and they kind of are maybe forming this consensus that you might be imbibing a little of the drinky.
That was a mistake on my part.
Right. Well, I do understand, of course, that he's Irish.
Yes.
And just as Jews are tight with money.
Yes.
Well, us Irish, we like our liquor. So, that's okay, Louis. Just don't ever let it happen again. Or same time tomorrow. Yeah. Well, welcome back to the big program, of course, today on HTLA or Radio 1, New York's Best Talk. You are listening to Coffee and Cigarettes, your Thursday double-double today. Yes, it is indeed officially Friday Eve. Yes. Yes.
Wait a minute, I got lost. HTLA. Oh, HTLA.
Yeah.
Hell is that?
That's your phone and everything's fine. Yes. Oh, boy.
You know why, Chris? Because you're such a control freak, you don't want anyone to tell you what to do.
That has nothing to do with anything. Shut up and drink more.
He needs love, Chris.
Yeah, I know he does, and he's going to get some in just a few moments. Yes, he is. And, of course, if you're a new listener to HTLA and don't know who we're talking about yet, well, in about 5 minutes from now, you'll be like, I can't unhear that. That's right. I am, of course, talking about HTLA meteorologist Frankie McDonald. Yes, the one and only special needs boy from Nova Scotia. And, of course, the higher-ups here at HTLA have seen fit to hire and give an ironclad contract somehow.
Yes.
So he is our weatherman, and I'm not happy about it. No. So every day he gives us weather from, 2 or 3 years ago. Usually actually in places that don't matter to anybody.
Yeah.
You know, what was it yesterday? South Dakota?
Yes.
You know? But, so he's coming up here right after we go to Brock Favors in HTLA Chopper 1 with our traffic. And let's get that out of the way now. Brock, take it away.
Hello, everybody out there. This is Brock Favors with traffic on the ones. Chad Armstrong is out sick today, so I am filling in for my usual land reports. And I'm up here in the chopper, but I got to tell you guys, I am loving the view. Oh, my God! Oh, no, stop. Oh! Whew. All right. Well, we are over the 10, and it's massively clogged down there like a pint of maple syrup on a cool November morning. And we do, oh, goddamn, we're gonna die in this mother. Oh my God! Woo! Okay, I am very sorry, folks. It's a little bit of a bumpy ride up here. We are now approaching the 405, where the left lane is blocked by a mattress. So somebody is going to be doing a little return to IKEA later today. You know what I'm saying? Oh, no, please! Oh, goddamn! Oh, get me out this motherfucking death machine right now! Oh, no, black people ain't meant to be in the sky! We ain't meant to be in the sky, man! Oh, mama, help me, mother... Well, the 405 is up right now. Ain't nobody going down this. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, folks.
It's okay.
I'm very sorry, but I'm losing my up here.
Actually, you have every right to. We're about to crash.
Once again, HTLA, of course, would like to offer, as always, our condolences to the Favors family.
Yes.
Yes. And that was your traffic today. Doesn't look like anything's moving and too good out there at all.
Yes.
Of course, that could have something to do with Donald Trump, of course, today.
Yes.
His hair is out on the...
They get crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
No, he was crazy because he was about to die. There's a little difference there between love and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. Yeah. Oh, Gilbert.
Yes.
Do the social media links. I want to make sure we do it enough today.
Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, on Twitter,
right,
and on Instagram.
And then follow that up right away with a Seinfeld.
Hey, can I see your dick?
There you go. I want to see his dick. I want to see it. Well, moving along today, we got a story, and I didn't think I would ever, in my entire history of life on this planet, ever report this story.
Yes.
Stop the frickin' presses. This just in. Sharon Chesley has finally made it to the live chat room. That's good to know. Now I'll get on with my effing story. Yes, of course, because as I was about to say, I never thought in a million years I would ever cover a story like this in my lifetime.
Yes.
Would not happen. But sadly, today I must report we have to do this.
Yeah.
So let's do this. A Colorado resident has died of the bubonic plague. Yes, he has. That's right. An unidentified person from Pueblo County, Colorado, has died of the bubonic plague today. Yes, the case occurred in a rural area of southwestern Pueblo County, and at this point, public health inspectors are out testing the area, says Sarah Joseph, Public Information Officer for Pueblo City County Health Department. Testing is either of animals that have recently passed away, like prairie dogs, or fleas that can be caught, she said. According to a report published by the Pueblo City County Health Department, the Colorado resident who died of the disease was an adult who was thought to have had contracted the disease from exposure to rodents, fleas, or dead animals. Hey, just like back in the day. Yeah. That's right. It is the second person to die of the disease in the state this year. Yeah. That's according to the Associated Press. The plague is normally spread through concentrated rodent populations. Rodents like rats and mice are known carriers of the fleas that cause the plague itself. Oftentimes, the Pueblo County Health Department reports plague incidences are preceded by mass animal die-offs. Well, the main thing that the health department is doing is letting the public know to protect themselves and their pets from fleas that carry the disease, Joseph said. Today and tomorrow, public health staff will put up signs in and around the affected areas. Health experts advise individuals to avoid dead animals, to treat clothing with insect repellent when hiking, to prevent pets from roaming into, avoid sharing the bed with pets. Plague victims normally exhibit symptoms which include swollen lymph nodes, fever, chills, and, well, of course, an addiction to coffee and cigarettes. All of these happen within a 2-day period. Yes. Well, the key to treating the plague is catching it in time, Joseph said. Patients have to get treatment in a timely manner, and physicians have to identify it in time. On average, the human plague cases are reported in the U.S., or 7, I should say, human plague cases are reported in the U.S., according to the CDC. But no word on, what years, are there 7 cases a year, a month? What is it? They don't say. And, of course, well, that's HTLA News. Yes. There you go. Well, moving on today, we got some news about Trump. Of course, he's been out of the headlines for all of, 48 hours? Yeah. Well, he's back in the headlines today, but, of course, not really himself or his hair. No, they're just talking about him. I guess they miss him. They must miss him. I think that's what it is. Yes. Well, fans of Carly Fiorina venting their views on Facebook are more likely to do so with proper grammar than fans of Donald Trump. Yeah, this story is total BS because nobody uses proper grammar on Facebook. Well, a new study by the folks at the grammar-checking app Grammarly concluded that commenters on Fiorina's Facebook page made an average of 6.3 grammatical and spelling errors per 100 words compared with the 12.6 errors per 100 for folks posting on Trump's page. I don't know what they're trying to say with that. So you can't say anything bad about the candidate, so let's point and make fun of his supporters. I guess that's what we do now. The grammar used by Ben Carson's Facebook followers ranks up there in Ebonics, with the highest used quotation being, "Yo, Ben, be our man."
Oh, my God, he's becoming black. I like it. Do a little rap.
It's all good, Louis. You just keep sucking on the ripple. Well, the grammar, of course, used by Ben Carson's Facebook followers is right up there in Ebonics, of course, as previously reported only moments ago, just out of my mouth. Yes. And Rick Perry's commenters are the second worst at 12.5 goof rate. The Cleveland debate may be a great opportunity for Fiorina to shine with Graham fans, even though she's only in the early forum. Not the primetime main event. In a June study, Grammarly found that fans of the Cleveland Indians made the fewest errors per 100 words of any team in Major League Baseball. The fans of the New York Mets, which you might figure would overlap with the New York-based Trump, were at the bottom of that list as well. We assume that New Yorkers have a perfectly grammatical two-word response to the Grammarly poll. Well, I wouldn't even go that far.
Yes.
Myself originally being Canadian, all I would do is just point at the American education system and go 53rd in the world. So stick that in your grammar hat and...
Yes.
Timmy's Dark Roast is especially good today.
Yes.
What is it that you drink, Gilbert? I know you're not doing like Louie and drinking whiskey. What is it you drink during the show?
Same thing.
Oh, okay. Well, no wonder that's why we get some of those high, squeaky, long, weird laughs out of you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
We hugged in the elevator, and I still have an erection.
Well, it's good.
Yes.
On the one hand, on the other hand, it's not so good. It's just not.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm getting the bloody fingers through the window again because, of course, I tried to slide right on by the weather with Frankie McDonald. And Kissy Springer is, the little noob, the one that 5 days ago couldn't press one button. Yeah, now she's banging on that window and she's telling me, "Oh, you forgot the Frankie McDonald. You forgot. Okay, fine. You want Frankie McDonald, bitch? I'll give you Frankie McDonald. Okay. That's right. Yes, we will do that, of course, someday down the road. Mostly in the. No, I'm just kidding. Of course, I've completely got everything together. We're ready to go, I guess, now to Frankie McDonald. Yes, the one, the only, the man himself. And what's to say about this? Well, I guess first, apologies would be in order to new HTLA listeners, of course, who. Well, they may not have heard of Frankie before, and if you haven't, you can kind of get, I don't know, it can be a little shocking. It can, so I just want to warn the folks at home, if you haven't heard the coffee and cigarette, oh, thank you, dog, yeah. If you haven't heard the coffee and cigarettes reports before with Frankie McDonald and your weather from about 3 years ago, I guess it's best to put it the way Morgan Freeman does.
Yes.
Yeah. What is it he says now? Tie yourself down to whatever chair it is you're sitting in, because it's about to be a rough effing ride. Yeah. Really? Do I gotta?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, without further ado, here is Frankie McDonald with HTLA's Coffee and Cigarettes weather for your Thursday some year. Yeah, here we go. Frankie, take it away.
This is Frankie McDonald, my own TV station, live in Sydney, Nova Scotia. Powerful storm is heading for Vancouver, British Columbia on Saturday, September 28th, 2013. It's going to be a period of real heavy rain and a strong winds along the coast of British Columbia. It's going to hit Vancouver, British Columbia, especially in greater Vancouver area because of the intense low-pressure system. It's going to be in
Vancouver,
west of British Columbia. It's going to bring a lot of rain in greater Vancouver area.
Yeah.
And Vancouver Island, the Sunshine Coast, and the western coast of British Columbia. It's going to bring up to 50-plus millimeters of rain in greater Vancouver and the Vancouver Island.
Mm-hmm.
People in Vancouver, be prepared.
Raincoats.
Have your rubber boots ready, have your raincoats ready, have your raincoats ready, because a lot of rain's heading for Vancouver on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to affect Fraser Valley as well, such as Abbotsford, Chilliwack, and Hope, and Greater Vancouver's getting a lot of rain. And the west coast of British Columbia as well.
Mm-hmm. And? Come on, give it a...
It's going to be a big waves on the shore and the beaches along the Vancouver Island and the Sunshine Coast. Stay away from the beaches. Don't go near the shore because a lot of rain is heading for Vancouver and the very strong winds. And the wind's going to gust up to over 100 kilometers per hour, especially in along the coast of British Columbia. It's like Vancouver Island and Greater Vancouver.
Don't gotta yell.
Vancouver, don't open up your umbrella, or your umbrella could get broken because winds will be too strong to support an umbrella.
I'm going to get coffee.
It's going to be periods of heavy rain in Greater Vancouver and Vancouver Island, and winds are going to be very strong in Vancouver, British Columbia, and Victoria, British Columbia as well, because a lot of rain's heading for Vancouver. And the winds are going to be very strong along the coast of British Columbia, especially people living in the coast of Vancouver Island as well.
Yeah.
Anything else? Pizza?
There will be
Coke? Pepsi?
big waves hitting along the coast. The power will go out. Have your flashlights ready.
Yeah.
Have your extra batteries ready. Have your crank up radio ready. Have your candles ready just in case the power goes out. Have your cell phones charged. Have your iPads charged. Have your iPods charged. Have your
3G
tablets charged. Order your pizzas and order your Chinese food.
Yes. Yeah. All right, thank you.
Because it's going to be very stormy conditions from Saturday, September 28th, 2013 until Monday, September 30th, 2013.
It's 2015.
In Greater Vancouver, British Columbia. It's going to get a powerful storm. Best luck to people in Vancouver. Be prepared for a lot of rain. And don't drive your car to the flood or your car could get stalled.
Yeah, best of luck to you. Yeah.
When you go for a walk, wear your rain gear, avoid the umbrellas, and avoid the puddles when you're driving a car.
Right. Thank you, Frankie. Okay.
Don't walk in the puddles in Greater Vancouver area. Best luck to you. People in Greater Vancouver, be prepared for a lot of rain. Take care.
You take care of yourself, too, you little mongoloid. Well, again, apologies to the ACLA listener, of course, for that weather outburst, I guess we'll call it.
That was a mistake on my part.
No, I'm pretty sure you didn't sign them. No, but there he was, the one, the only Frankie McDonald. Yes. And one of our stories coming up this afternoon, of course, is how to survive living with someone who is the polar opposite of you.
Yes.
And this is actually it's kind of more geared towards college folks, but I'm this story came out today, and I thought, well, geez, this is pretty good because yesterday I let everybody hear that little clip of my effort to get along better with Frankie.
Yes.
Yeah, so and that seemed to work out well, at least. God, I thought so. So because we've got that story coming up next here on the big program,
Yes.
I figure I should probably play the little clip from yesterday one more time. should. So without further ado, this was me coming in yesterday morning to HTLA Studio 2, and well, it's, you know, I record everything now because, you know, wrongful dismissal suit, you know. So I recorded this, and I had this clip, so check it out. Here's me and the gang at HTLA in the morning, and Frankie McDonald down. Oh, there you are. Hey, how's it going, everybody? Good morning, Frankie.
Yeah. Okay, guys, I'm going to do a video about the guy eating 50 hot dogs at once.
Really? You going to do videos in HTLA here eating hot dog? Here, no, I got a much better idea for you. I got a hot dog right here. Hang on. Here you go. Here you go. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's it, Frankie. See, you are talented. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I see now why they're keeping you around. Yeah. That's right, you like it. That's right. Who's your daddy?
Yeah.
Oh, that was good, Frankie. Thank you. Wow.
I can't take it anymore.
You just did. Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. It's gonna be a great day. Oh yeah.
I can't get up anymore.
That's okay. You don't need to. Just lay back.
Thanks for watching.
That's the least they could do. That's right. And yes, I do need to, at this particular point in time, make mention, of course, because it's, well, it's funny, and it kind of goes with the whole theme here right now. Of course, all the folks in the live chat room, of course, are talking about my cocktail weenie, and, you know... Well, no, it's not good, Gilbert, because I have a large, you know, demographic of women who like me.
Yes.
You know, and you know, I would think sexual thoughts about me.
Yes.
You know. And, you know, it's not so great when, you know, maybe they come into that live chat room for the first time and they see all these people talking about my cocktail weenie. You know. So I just want to make it clear to everybody out there that, yes, you know, I make fun of my tiny penis all the time.
Yes.
And, of course, that's probably why they're going off about it like that. But, you know, as I've just proven with that audio recording from yesterday morning, at least it's big enough to gag Frankie. So, you know,
they get f***ing crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yes.
I know. I know, it's true. And, you know...
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
Well, thank you, grand sage of sex. Whatever.
I nearly got kicked out of a theater. I can't remember what I saw about 2 weeks ago because I was booing and screaming.
Screaming, right.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, Louis, maybe this weekend, try going into a theater, pull out your penis, and see if, you know.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
Well, fine. I'll go ahead and move on. I don't care.
Yes.
It's fine. You don't want to hear my comedy? It's all right. It's okay. I'll move on to the Filtered Out campaign, yes, to aim at cleaning up, those filthy, filthy, littered cigarette butts from those filthy, filthy smokers. And, of course, I can't possibly do this story without having one, so hold on.
Yes.
One more butt for the pile. Well, yes, Do Something, a nonprofit organization geared towards teen volunteerism and activism, is launching a campaign with Truth.com, of course, a youth smoking prevention campaign, to clean up cigarette butts littering the streets. The new campaign, Get Filter Out, GTFO for short. Really, that isn't that nice?
Yes.
Isn't that nice? Oh, it's our way of saying get the fuck out.
Yes.
Isn't that great? Oh, we're so PC, but we can still swear at those losers. Yes, the GTFO for short asks young Americans to sign up and do something to receive a free cleanup kit. I got a cleanup kit for you. Now, once a person signs up, he or she also has the opportunity to win $10,000. That's right. For every 250 cigarette butts an individual collects, they can receive an additional entry into the scholarship lottery. That's right, America, 53rd education in the world. You go. Oh, and by the way, I just wanted to throw this in here, too.
Yes.
Canada, I believe, ranks currently number 4. There you go. That's how I was able to come on down and be all dumb and redneck-like.
Yes.
They teach that in schools in Canada. We can be dumb and redneck-like. Oh, that's right. They teach us to sing country, too. There you are. That was Brooke Atkins and his new hit single on HTLA's Best Country. Right there. Yes, the GTFO cleanup kit, $10,000, 250 cigarettes, and you could get your way to earning, I should say.
Yes.
It's not just getting. They don't give it to you. You have to earn that 53rd spot in education in the world. There you go. Well, the winner, of course, of the $10,000 will be announced after the campaign ends on September 30th, 2015. Geez, where's my calculator? How many packs of smokes can I buy for $10,000? Well, the GTFO hopes to motivate young Americans to stop smoking and improve the environment, says Cass Marburger, the social media manager for Truth. We really feel like this partnership with Do Something is a great opportunity for Truth to help inspire people to clean things up and to really take action in their communities, Marburger says. According to the PLOS One report, published January 27, 2015, cigarettes are the most littered item on Earth. Really? Well, stick this in your hat, you water-drinking health freaks. How about the 9 times around the planet Earth water bottles you clean living fuckers are leaving? Huh? And that's 9 times around the planet Earth a year.
Yes.
We're 5 steps away from winning the Academy Award.
Yes.
Yes.
And we didn't.
No, nobody cares. No.
You being Catholic, you realize that you can't have birth control. You realize that?
Yeah, but I've told you before, Louis, it feels weird. You know. Well, there you go. Yes, cigarettes are the most littered item on Earth. GTFO reports 1.69 billion pounds of cigarette filters end up as waste every year, a fact corroborated by a May 2009 report. Oh, same year as your movie, Louis. Of course, that May 2009 report published in the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health. 1.69 billion pounds of cigarette filters. That's what they're saying.
Yes.
Really? Then I guess all those stories about people smoking rates being down and oh, it's only 12% now, and oh, yeah. Right. So which is it, PCers? Is it, oh, smoking is down and nobody's doing it anymore and you're a disgusting pig if you do, GTFO? Huh? Is it that, or is it, oh, smoking is an epidemic. Everybody's doing it, and it's 1.69 billion pounds of cigarette butts a year. Come on. Come on. How stupid do we look?
Yes.
You know? Come on. I don't understand.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
What? Make people accountable for the shit they say? Yeah. Absolutely I do. You're damn straight, you know?
The music is fantastic. Oh, you got to hear it.
Some days I wish we could, Louie. I really do. I do.
How many different families do you have?
That's enough of that. We've got to move on now.
Yes.
Yes. Well, a lot of people, smokers and non-smokers alike, think that cigarette butts are an acceptable type of litter because there is a misconception that cigarette butts will biodegrade, Marburger says. Well, they don't. They're made of a type of plastic, cellulose acetate, which doesn't degrade well. Yes, just much like those toxic plastic bottles, asshole. Well, the National Center for Biotechnology reports that the non-biodegradability of cigarette filters increases landfill demands, municipalities' waste disposal program cost, and environmental blight in public places. Chemicals from discarded cigarettes are also toxic to aquatic organisms. Well, you know, like I've always been saying since, God, the 70s, stop dumping our garbage in the ocean. Now, Lizzie Devine, the environmental campaign associate to Do Something's in-house marketing agency, TMI, says that although this campaign does not address the root cause of the littering organizing cleanup, is still an effective solution to the issue. Litter begets litter, she says. One of the largest factors attending a person's decision to litter is the condition of their physical surroundings. Individuals are more likely to litter in a dirty or already littered environment. So by cleaning up the cigarettes, we're hoping that people won't want to deviate from the social norms that we will teach you in the camps. And if you do not do it, Pig Jew...
Yes.
If you do not do it, you will go to the oven. Eastmine! I think I'll move along with the story now.
Yes.
Well, along with addressing environmental concerns, Do Something and Truth also hope the new campaign will help end teen smoking, which is up 14 points. Yes, contributing to those 1.63 billion butts a year. There you go. Well, according to a University of Michigan press release, the national survey of approximately 40,000 teens in 2014 found that 8% reported smoking cigarettes in comparison to 28% in 1997. See, that's exactly what I just said.
Yes.
Where's the 1.6 billion butts then? Come on, make up your mind. Yes, okay. Well, Devine believes it indicates that cigarette use in the United States can continue to decrease if more people quit smoking. God, she's smart.
Yeah.
There you go, folks. There's a fine example of that 53rd level education in the world. There it is. Right there. Well, Do Something really believes that this can be a generation that puts the cigarette industry out of business, which is why we're teaming up with Truth to tell Big Tobacco GTFO. Good luck, you freedom life suckers. Really? Come on. What is that?
Yes.
What the hell is that?
I remember being on your radio show in Chicago.
Oh, yeah. That was, what was that? Oh, back in 2009 when Louie's movie came out. Yes. Yeah, it was fun, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember we hung out afterwards and had a wild time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you know, one look at you. When I first saw you...
Yes.
And we got together and you wanted to go out and party it up after the show.
Yes.
You know... I looked at you and I thought to myself, you know, if there is one powerhouse of problems, it's definitely going to be with this guy. Yeah. So I knew.
Yeah, and I remember we hung out afterwards and had a wild time.
Well, yeah, you already said that.
Yes.
We did, and I knew.
And I remember, too.
Yeah.
When we were in the alleyway, zipped up.
Right.
There was this one, sleazy-looking guy who walked by, who's staring at us, and you turned around, and, he was what? What's your problem?
Yeah.
And you said, like, you don't give a shit.
Okay, it wasn't that damn funny. Okay. Why? You gotta. I still don't understand this about you.
Yes.
You know why? Why do you think I would? It's some scumbag in an alley. I don't. I don't see.
I'd like to have that as my slogan in life.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Gilbert. I'm a scumbag in the alley. Godfrey. Yeah. I'll just leave it at that. How about some Seinfeld?
Hey, can I see your dick?
There we go. Oh, yeah. The Ed McMahon. Ho!
Yes.
Speaking of Ed McMahon, The Tonight Show.
Yes.
He was a little Leno.
There
you go.
read somewhere that you have a dick. Can you show it to me?
Okay, come here. Yeah. I'll show you my dick. Well, moving on today. Right. Yes, okay. Kissy. Wow, Kissy's turning into Hitler himself. I was going to go to the next story, of course, but she's like, "You did not do this. It is 6 o'clock. You must go for the commercial." What do you say, Gilbert?
Break for a commercial.
All righty. I'll go for that commercial, but don't worry. When we come back, we got some fun. That's right. How to survive living with someone who is the polar opposite of you. And, I know some of you housewives out there, well, you could probably use this. Yeah. Married wrong.
Yes.
Always with a female having a relationship, married or single, it's always better that they do the leaving. Yeah. If you do the leaving, it creates that lingering thing. You know what I mean?
I know all about the lingering thing, Louie, and we'll get right to it in 2 back.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
Good morning. Welcome to Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where fresh always tastes better. What can I make you this morning?
How about our new flatbread breakfast paninis? Made fresh, just for you, with your favorite breakfast ingredients on maple or multigrain flatbread, then grilled to hot, melted perfection. Just $2.99. Who couldn't warm up to that?
Tim Hortons Cafe and Bake Shop, where quality really does meet value.
When we arrived at our hotel in New York, the porter was so incredibly careless with our bags. And the room they gave us, it was beautiful. A broom closet. But the worst part was the shower. My wife drying herself with the
Egyptian cotton towels.
Shower curtain defined that whole vacation for her. Don't just visit New York.
Visit TripAdvisor New York.
With millions of reviews, a visit to TripAdvisor makes any destination better.
Let's do a brand new day. Let's step away from the bland and let the color fly. Let's get to the one store with more number one choices and match this or this without using too much of this. Then, let's crack open a can and get to it. Paint? No. Let's do POW. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Glidden Duo starts at a new lower price of $25.46 a gallon.
White Rum has a new captain. Introducing the all-new Captain Morgan White Rum. 5 times distilled for a smoother taste.
You've got it locked to HTLA Radio 1, New York.
Now, I remember sitting next to you on a plane.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was flying out to L.A. to audition for some movie that I didn't get. which was fine.
Right.
Because I remember I was reading the script.
Yeah, I know.
And you said to me, "Oh, what are you reading?"
Yeah.
And I said, "Oh, it's some John Travolta comedy."
Yeah. Yeah.
Called The Experts.
That's right.
And it's about two young hip Americans who get kidnapped by Russian spies to teach them how to act like young hip Americans. And you, being a fortune teller, said, "Oh, that sounds like a piece of shit."
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, John Travolta, you know.
That's the famous story about Jerry Lee Lewis. You heard that story, haven't you?
Yes.
Sitting behind his desk at Paramount, talking with big executives and TV people, and all of a sudden the chick pops up underneath, wipes off her mouth, and walks out the door.
Yes.
And Jerry doesn't have an eye.
They were just talking about the business, Louis. That's all that was.
You love to do that kind of stuff. You always did.
Oh, yeah. Have a girl under my desk every day of the week. Yep. That's right.
Wait a minute, I got lost. H-T-L-A.
Yeah.
H-T-L-A.
You got it.
Hell is that?
Well, that's the end of your career. There it is. Well, hey, gang, welcome back to the big show, of course, your Thursday double-double. That's right, coffee and cigarettes, HTLA Radio 1, New York's best talk, 82 degrees Central Park. What the hell am I doing here?
Can you give me any help for $25,000?
Oh, when are you going to let it go?
Yes.
God.
If I go a half an hour, do I get $50,000?
What do you mean go half an hour? Half the time you're asleep.
It's about fucking time. Move on.
See, you were sleeping again.
Yeah.
We didn't move on. We just got back from a commercial. See that whole commercial? The commercials move on by themselves. Yes.
$88,000 a year they make, approximately average, 80s, let's say. And there's 1,000. That's $88 million a year that we're paying as taxpayers.
Is he talking about the commercial people?
Yes.
You've lost me, Louis. I don't know what you're talking about now.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
All right. Well, I guess then we'll get on with doing some stories then, if you love it so much. And maybe it'll be like when you were a kid and somebody told you a story and you can go back to sleep. Did you know, Louis? Frankie blew me. Did you? Did you know that?
Power tends to corrupt.
Yeah.
Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely.
That's right. And I was instilling my power as his superior officer and gave me head. Yeah. That's it. That's how we do it downtown.
Mr. T would be proud of you.
Yeah, he sure would. That's right. Making a little retarded white man blow him, I bet. Yeah. Well, moving on today, of course, we've got that story that I've been telling you about now for, 45 minutes. Yeah. Yes, how to survive living with that someone who is the polar opposite of you. One of the perks of college, of course, is meeting with people with different backgrounds than you. Students discover a vast plethora of personalities. However, the differences aren't so welcome, of course, when you're cooped up in a dorm room with someone who doesn't share the same living style as you do. Your college roommate can be one of your best friends for life, so don't let your living differences hinder your relationship. Luckily, there are means to making the best of living with a roommate who isn't similar to you. Expect distress. That's nice. Yes, it's important to understand, of course, that your roommate will have differences. Before move-in day, try to discuss what the differences may be, and if there are any differences, identify them, and then threaten them with bodily harm if they break your rules. If you're blindsided in the beginning, your roommate relationship will suffer. It's important that you're truthful with your roommate as well. If you're a messy person, you better just come out and say it, because he will find out eventually. Well, what if it's a she?
Yeah.
And isn't he being sexist and gender anal or something? Well, embrace the differences.
Yes.
Say you're living with an athlete and you've never stepped in a court in your life, or a field, or a track. Well, don't turn your nose up at the jock side of the room, except the jock. That's right. Complaining about your different roommate will eventually make you resent him or her. Yes, some of your roommate's actions will annoy you. The sooner you accept that, the easier it will be to live with that person. The success of your year in college... Well, you guys only go to college for a year here? Wow, no wonder you're 53rd in the world.
Yes.
The sooner you accept that, yeah. Your year in college is greatly dependent on your living situation. Accept your roommate for who he/she is. You will want them to embrace your differences, too. Yeah, I think if I had, was hooking up with somebody in a dorm room,
yes,
and they explained to me all these annoying differences.
Yes.
I think I would be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I have a couple too. I like to, when I come in before I go to bed, I like to pull all my clothes off and squat on my bed and take a shit. So I just take a dump and then I lay in it because it's warm.
Yes.
And that gives me security and makes me feel like I'm still with my mommy. Right? And just see how that reacts, gets.
Yes.
Yes, well, think of how the other person might see things. While this is one of the more simple conflict resolution techniques, it's sometimes easily forgotten. In some case, making friends in college is like making friends on the playground. But this time around, there is no teacher there to help you along with others, and feelings can still get hurt. If you're a social butterfly, do not think of your roommate as a stick in the mud. Try seeing things her way. Oh, see how it's gone from a him to a her? Now I'm really confused. I don't know what the hell's going on. Maybe she is at school on scholarship, so she takes her studies very seriously. Respect her choice to stay in the room more often, but do not ignore her. Invite her to grab some food with you. Don't give up on your relationship based on the fact that she isn't as social as you. Create a schedule. Yeah, that'll go over well. Creating a schedule for late nights or early mornings can benefit you greatly. If you'll be staying up late to study for a test and your roomie knows a couple of days ahead in time, in case he was planning of getting up early the next morning. See that it's a he again. God, pick a sex. God. Well, if you can sync up your schedules, you will avoid unnecessary tensions, and when you have similar schedules, it could lead to bonding over late-night study sessions or early morning coffee dates in the library. Oh, it's love. Well, another thing you can do is try things their way. Another big life lesson learned in college, you are not always right. As easy survival tip as living with the opposite roommate is to try doing things their way. If your closet is a mess, but hers is color coordinated in an attempt to tame yours the same way. You never know what her system will cut your morning prep time in half. The great aspect of this tactic is that if it doesn't work, it doesn't matter. Even if you attempt to live the way your roommate lives and it fails, you still tried. Yes, well, what if I don't want to convert to Muslim? Well, no, seriously, if I wake up or I'm being woken up by moaning and praying...
Yes.
Right? Yeah, I wake up, the guy's down there on his little magic flying Aladdin carpet.
Yes.
6 a.m. and he's doing the rocking back and forth. I'm a bike rack. Okay, so he's praying to Allah. So what? I'm supposed to pray to Allah with him? And here's the other thing. When you're praying side by side one of those guys and they're doing their back and forth thing, I'm a bike rack, I'm not a bike rack,
yes.
I'm a bike rack, right? Is there etiquette to that? Like if do I bow at the same time he does, or is it okay if I alternate? Bonding over similarities. Yeah. Yes, you all have 2 legs, 2 arms, and a head. Well, you may seem opposite of each other at first, but after living together, you are bound to discover similarities. Maybe you watch the same TV show. He listens to a band you really like, or you both love sushi. Line in the dating hall. No matter how small the similarities may be, connect through them. You won't always see eye to eye. Your friendship, however, can flourish given the right amount of effort. And that's where they leave us. Yeah, that's right. That's the end of the story. No other tips or advice other than that. I still think we're all boned. I don't...
that was a mistake on my part.
Oh, really? You're organizing the world now? Is that... Yeah? It's okay.
They get f***ing crazy because all of a sudden nobody loves them.
Well, I mean, that's your perspective, Louis, but you still have to go and live with them for that year in school. You know. Well, moving along, we've got some space news, and yes, although we found out yesterday, of course, that we're paying Russia to send our American astronauts into space now.
Yes.
I wonder if that's how Uber got started. They liked the business model and thought, oh, let us make the American pigs pay us.
Yes.
We will take them up in space in our 60-year-old Soyuz rocket. Charge them $82 million. Oh, yeah, that's what they're doing to us, and we bend over for it because we're 53rd in education in the world. There you go. Well, so normally we don't get a lot of space news because we can't afford to send our astronauts up there.
Yes.
Right? But, you know, a few times we have, you know, we've got the NASA unmanned probes that, you know, every once in a while we realize we've spent $780 million and have a couple of high-res pics to show for it. You know, so that's a good thing. You know, it's 2015. It's good that we're still exploring space, just like Captain Kirk and Spock.
Yeah.
Oh, no, wait. They weren't welfare. They had a ship. Well, moving along today, we've got some space news, but it's not really space news because it's going to hit the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yes, of course, I'm talking about the Perseid meteor shower, quite possibly the best meteor shower of the year. The Perseids will be coming to a sky soon near you next week. If you see one meteor shower this year, make it August's Perseids or December's Geminids, NASA says. The Perseids feature fast and bright meteors that frequently leave trains. And in 2015, there will be no moonlight to upstage the shower this year. Why, did they destroy the moon? Well, there could be as many as 80 meteors per hour striking and destroying the Earth.
Yes.
At the peak of the shower, of course, NASA added, noting that it's among the brightest of all such meteor events. Plus, they can be enjoyed during summer's warmth, like the often nippy nights during the Leonids of November or the Geminids of December. The only question I have is, are we being invaded by the Perseids or the Geonids? And truly, maybe the more important question.
Yes.
Are the Geminids at war with either of them?
Yes.
You know, because if they are, we could actually ally with the Geminids and give it a fighting chance, you know? Never mind, okay. Well, this major shower takes place during the lazy, hazy days, the last days of summer, of course, before we go to minus 60.
Yeah.
When many families are on vacation, EarthSky.org, Bruce McClure, said, additionally, there won't be any significant distracting moonlight as the moon will only be in a thin crescent in the sky. Well, the Perseids have been best seen during the pre-dawn hours from Tuesday through August 14th, according to EarthSky.org, with the best show on August 13th. Meteor showers are named for the constellation out of which they appear to come, says Vincent Perlin of the American Meteor Society. We have an American Meteor Society.
Yeah.
Okay. Look for the constellation Perseus in the northeastern portion of the sky, up just to the left of the Pleiades and the Seven Sisters constellation. Oh, yeah, the Seven Sisters constellation. I know where that is. You know what? Don't they realize that, aside from the little space nerds,
yes,
nobody else really delves into looking in the heavens? No? Yeah, I can just see them down in Louisiana. Oh, yeah, it's up by the Seven Sisters. Right over there, boy.
Yes.
Well, apparently, according to them, no special equipment is needed to enjoy the nighttime spectacle, just a dark sky and some patience. However, if they land and start killing everybody, you will need plasma assault rifles. Remember, your eyes can take as long as 20 minutes to truly adapt to the darkness of night, McClure said, so don't rush the process. The meteors are actually tiny dust particles from a tail of a comet, Swift-Tuttle, as it orbits around the sun. The particles may be no bigger than a grain of sand or a pea, and then disintegrate high up in the atmosphere after making a brilliant flash of light, the American Meteor Society says. As always, send your photos of the meteor shower to Your Take, George Takei. What, he's so busy banging Brad he can't look at the sky? Oh, my. Well, I hate to do it. It is that time, and of course we have finally approached the last story of the day.
Yes.
Yes, we have.
He needs love, Chris. Come on.
Who? Who the hell needs love? What do you... Did you just woke up again?
You know how to spell my last name on the check, right? It's Louis Lawler.
Yeah, I got your check, buddy. I got the. Don't you worry about it. I've got your check. It'll be along. Oh yes, it will be along.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories, anyway.
Yes, that's what you said when you woke up 10 minutes ago. Yeah.
You know why, Chris? Because you're such a control freak, you don't want anyone to tell you what to do.
No, I'm just trying to get through a goddamn show without your help. That's all it is. I'm just...
Sex is only the tip of the iceberg.
All right, that just in from sexual correspondent Louis Lawless. Thank you. All right, well, we have actually achieved orbit around the final story of the day.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf, open a channel. Wesley. Yes, the big news that, I think,
yes.
I think, and I told Kissy this, and she's really getting bossy in her old age around here. She didn't care.
Yeah.
But, I told her this should be the number one story today, way ahead of this Jon Stewart garbage. And, of course, she vetoed my ass.
Yes.
Yeah. Nope. Sorry. This is what's going on. Yeah. What the hell? Now I've got black people telling me what to do. What's going on? What's going on? I thought I was in charge here.
Yes.
Oh, you knew all along I wasn't. Right, okay. But, of course, this story was put to the very end of the show, but I am very, very, very thankful, ladies and gentlemen, that you've all stuck around for the full hour and a half today and caught this, because this is, I think, one of the most important stories of all time, aside from the bubonic plague story. Yeah. This is one of the big ones, and I'm very pleased to finally be able to bring it to you.
Yes.
And seriously, I think we have these podcast shows. They're recorded on the internet and left there for later download.
Yes.
This next story, of course, you're going to want to download to your device and make sure you get it out to all your family and friends, because it's so damned important, of course. And yes, that is the report today, that Jennifer Aniston is now married. That's right. It's official today. The one, the only Jennifer Aniston is married. Yes, it's wedding bells for Jennifer Aniston and Justin Theroux.
Yes.
Damn, I thought it was a Timberlaken. Oh, yeah, it's a Timberlaken. That's right. According to People magazine and Us Weekly, the highly credible sources second to only TMZ, the Hollywood couple today pulled off the near impossible, marrying in a private ceremony at their home. Oh, no, they didn't do it today. They did it Wednesday night. Well, TMZ managed to get a few scant shots showing outdoor table settings, a dance floor, and a cake at the couple's $21 million Bel Air mansion. Their cake, by the way, looked pretty cute, topped with a Muppet-like version of the actors. According to Us Magazine, celeb guests included Lisa Kudrow, Howard Stern, Sia, Chelsea Handler, Jennifer Meyer, Emily Blunt, John Karansky, Ellen DeGeneres, Lake Bell, Scott Campbell, and Terry Richardson. Who the Christ is Scott Campbell and Terry Richardson? How are these people celebrities and I don't know? What? Well, how did the paparazzi favorites pull off the secret wedding? Well, according to TMZ, a giant shed was built over the past week to hide all the furniture from party supplies, which were swiftly rolled out Wednesday afternoon. Though Aniston, 46, and Theroux, who turns 44 on August 10th, traveled in the same circle for years, the couple began dating after shooting their 2012 comedy, Wonderlust. Oh, yeah, no, that's the title, Wonderlust, yeah. And a year and a half later, falling for each other. Wow, it took some dumbass a year and a half to fall in love with Jennifer Aniston. Isn't that, I think it would take me I'm going to go upwards of 7-8 years. Yeah. Well, the only reason I say that is because I can't stand the woman. So... first we have to do that whole college dorm thing and get to know each other and try to live together, Screw the whole thing. I'll just get her to do what I do with Frankie. Just keep her down there under the desk. Yeah.
Same thing.
Did you watch us one day? How do you know?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
What is my name?
Gilbert the Loser Gottfried. Okay. Yes, though Aniston, 46, and Theroux, who turns 44 in August 10th, traveled the same circles, dating, blah, 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 Wonderlust, year and a half, falling for each other. Theroux popped the question with a whopping 8-carat diamond in August of 2012. We have so much fun together, says Aniston on the Today Show in December. It was nice to learn how to relinquish control and let someone really care deeply for you. It's quite wonderful. All right, now get in the kitchen. Well, this is the first marriage for Theroux and the second for Aniston, who divorced, of course, Brad Pitt in October of 2005. She's been dreading ever since the loss of her Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
And now I guess this consolation dude, you know. Yeah, I don't know. You don't go from Brad Pitt to this knob. What the hell is this? No. The girls out there know what I'm talking about. They do. Yeah. Sharon, here's a question for Sharon Chesley or Devlon Crawford or any living, breathing female. You know, you're married to Brad Pitt.
Yes.
You end up getting divorced. The next guy you marry has got to top him, otherwise you suck. Well, okay, I guess HTLA listeners, here you go. This just in, she sucks. Well, there you go. So again, you know, that's the most important story, I think, out there this decade.
Yes.
My film, Unrepented, did very well in Europe.
No, Louis, I said this decade. Yeah. Well, listen, gang, it is that time. It's been a hell of a fun Thursday double-double with you. Yes, according to Devlon Crawford, it is officially Friday Eve. Go out and celebrate. Louis, I want to thank you as always for being here.
It's just life, and I love doing it. I love doing these kind of stories anyway.
All right, well, don't drink so much tomorrow.
That was a mistake on my part.
Yeah. And, moving along. Thank you for being here. It's been great having you. Thank you, Lou. Also, the one, the only. Yes, the man who won't shut up and stop laughing in between everything I say. Give out those social media links before you go.
Don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page, on Twitter, and on Instagram.
That's right. And if you're wondering why he didn't give you the actual links, screw you. Go and search it for yourself. That's right. That's right. And it's because we at HTLA believe our listeners are smarter than the average American.
Yes.
Yes. So thank you, Gilbert.
Thank you for listening and support the show
for the love of God. Yes. And hey, Gilbert, I'll let you give out your actual Twitter.
On Twitter, at Real Gilbert, ACP.
Yeah, it's actually just at Real Gilbert. I don't know what your ACP is there. How about your Instagram?
And on Instagram,
yeah.
Gilbert Podfried.
Oh, yeah.
PODFRIED.
Right.
You see, it's kind of a pun on the last name.
Oh,
never mind.
Yeah, no, we got it. Yeah.
I want to be famous.
Shut up, Frankie. All right, and all you listeners out there on whatever platform you catch HTLA Radio 1, New York's Best Talk on, hey, thank you for being a great listener. And if you want, get on over to NewYorksBestTalk.com. That's the website. That's where all the goodness is happening. Go there, check it out. New shows rolling out tonight. Starstruck Again, your astrology specialist, is in the house. That starts at 8 p.m. Eastern. Other than that, we will catch you tomorrow on Coffee and Cigarettes. Same bad time, 5 p.m. Eastern, for your Friday Frappuccino. Have a great night.
We're New York's best talk radio, HTLA Radio 1.
I want to be famous.